Hello, and welcome to the Ghosty Girls podcast. Hope you guys are having a better week than I am. My week has been shit.
Girl, same.
It's been so bad. But I will say that I'm super excited for Terrifier 3 this weekend.
I am excited for you to see it, and your nails look freaking amazing.
Thank you for those of you who can't see because we are just doing a recording and no video, so
all
no
of you
one will be able to see. Yeah, I have the bloody drip nails, and I did them in honor of Art the Clown.
I don't even know who that is.
You have to get into the Terrifier series, if only for the special effects. The makeup and all of that is amazing. It's super gory. It's a gore fest. So if you're not into gory movies, you're probably not going to like it. But if you like special effects and makeup and all that, yeah, you got to watch it.
All right.
So you have to watch the first and the second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The second one I feel is better than the first.
Really?
Yes.
That's rare for horror movies.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the second one is amazing. Yeah. I made my sister watch it and she loved it.
Nice.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
I'll do it. If your sister can watch it, I can too.
Yes.
I believe it.
Yep.
I believe it myself. I can do this.
Oh my gosh, I was going to go, I believe I can fly, but I don't want to talk about R. Kelly because I have a personal beef with him.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you about that?
Did he pee on you?
He did not.
Oh, okay.
But
he tried.
Let's do a little side story about
okay.
R. Kelly.
I'm in.
So when I was 17 years old, I worked at Claire's in the mall. One day I was piercing someone's ears and there was a bunch of commotion in the mall, and I look up and R. Kelly was walking by with all of his people. Okay.
His entourage.
Yeah. And I was just kind of like, oh my God, it's R. Kelly. Like, and this was before all of that stuff came out. Like, I think there were like rumors like that he, about the pee stuff, but it wasn't like crazy well known. I mean, this was before social media and all that. So I'm cleaning up the ear piercing station and this humongous guy comes in and he wants to get his ear pierced. And I'm like, okay, let's pierce your ear. So we're sitting down and he's like, hey, I work for R. Kelly. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
congratulations,
cool.
sir.
Yeah. He's his bodyguard, blah, blah, blah. So I pierce his ear and I'm done and he leaves. And then again, cleaning up the ear piercing station and sanitizing it and everything. And I look up again and R. Kelly and his entourage is walking the opposite way. So they're coming like back. R. Kelly nods to the guy whose ear I just pierced, his bodyguard. His bodyguard comes in and he said, Mr. Kelly wants to invite you backstage to his show in Baltimore tonight.
Stop.
Now, mind you, when I was piercing this man's ear, he asked me how old I was.
Okay.
He asked me what school I went to. I was in high school. Okay. I was 17.
Gross.
I was 17 years old. He gave me a yellow Post-it note with R. Kelly's phone number on it.
Are you serious?
I wish I still had it to this day. I wish I still had it. So I was the only one working that day until close. And I called my manager and I was like, hey, like, can someone else work my shift for me? Because I just got invited to an R. Kelly concert. And the bodyguard was like, you can bring a friend too.
Make sure she's hot. And
Make sure
super
she's
young.
underage. Yeah. Make sure she's 17 or younger. So my manager was like, okay, first off, I think this is a horrible idea. Because I told her the story and she was like, and second off, she was like, sure, if you can find somebody to work for you, absolutely go ahead. But I'm telling you, this is a bad idea. So
smart manager.
Yes. I called up all the girls that worked at Claire's. None of them could work for me, so I could not go to the concert. I was so upset at the time. Now looking back, I'm like, holy shit, it is a good thing that I did not go to that concert.
You had angels on your shoulder that day.
Because he is a psycho and we all know what he did with underage girls. Yeah. He was literally preying on people at the mall. And when I watched that documentary about him, I almost cried because I got the chills from the girls telling their stories. That's what he did. He would go to malls looking for underage girls and he would give them his number. He would nod. He would give his bodyguard the nod. He's a predator. He did the exact same thing.
Gross.
Isn't that wild?
That That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But good for you for not being able to go. I mean, good for your manager, too, to try to warn you.
Well, I was going to say, like, I mean, not good for me because I was fucking stupid. I was going to go.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
And it's like I have my own car and everything. So, you know.
And all the way in Baltimore, too. Like, that would have been bad.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had never been to Baltimore at that point as a 17-year-old. Like, can you imagine me driving with a friend to Baltimore to an R. Kelly concert and going backstage?
The ride alone would have been fun. But then after you guys went backstage, it would have been...
It would have been not fun.
What does Macklemore say? Smells like R. Kelly sheets.
Oh. Oh, God. Yeah. R. Kelly is... Ugh.
Didn't you meet Ludacris, too?
So I didn't actually meet Ludacris, but I did see him walking through the same mall that I worked at, and he was a fucking asshole. He was an asshole.
You got to tell that story, too.
So there were two girls. He had a humongous entourage of people, and he was like in the middle. First off, he's super short. Mm-hmm. He's very oily looking. Very oily. Yeah. Like the way that the lights were like shining and glistening off of his face. Bleh. So anyway, there were these two girls and they were following him. And I don't know, they had like a piece of paper or something. And they were like, Luda, can we get your autograph? Can we get your autograph? He looked them dead in the face and was like, man, I'm only signing my CDs. Go get a CD and then I'll sign it. And walked away.
Mm-hmm. Did they go to FYE and buy a CD?
She was like, fuck you, and walked away.
Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, and then everyone laughed. But yeah, he was a huge asshole, and I've never been able to listen to his stuff since and not think of that time. Like, who does that? You have two, like, and you could tell they were like high school girls.
Greasy assholes.
Mm-hmm. But I digress. There's my R. Kelly and Luda story for your listening pleasure.
I love it.
I wonder how many people are still listening, or if they're like, okay, I'm going to tap out now. This podcast sucks.
Hi, Mom. She's still listening.
So what are we talking about today?
Nothing to do with R. Kelly or Luda or any of that nonsense.
Good.
So, I received a strange-looking letter the other day in my mailbox.
I don't love that.
Nor did I. It was odd. Had a little bit of weight to it, but it didn't say Amazon or Temu.
Oh, well then fuck that package.
Yeah, I was a little nervous, right? So my crazy ass brain took this as an opportunity to overthink that someone is trying to murder me.
As the good Lord intended.
You know?
I mean, not murdering you, but overthinking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I get it. Yeah. But I was like, oh my God, there's anthrax in here. It's chemicals. It's a bomb. You know what I mean? Because there's some scary ass shit nowadays.
And that's the only reasonable thought. You know, you just
correct.
You take your jump to conclusions, Matt, and you jump and there you go.
Right.
You're on anthrax.
This is someone trying to murder me right now.
Yeah.
I then spiraled into wondering who decided it was a good idea to try to murder someone via mail. After realizing that the piece of mail was actually just an advertisement that I received to get me to purchase a new roof, I think. It had like a pen in it with their number and it was nice. I got a pen.
Nice.
I mean, I don't need a roof, but like I got a pen. I decided to look into the first murder by mail. I thought that would be a fun topic for us to discuss.
Yeah.
And bonus, it sort of happened in our state.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. I'm intrigued.
You're welcome. This story takes place in the late 1800s and starts with a true shitbag named John P. Dunning. Mm-hmm. John worked as a reporter for the Associated Press and was known for his drinking, gambling, and cheating habits.
Cool.
Yeah,
sounds like a great guy.
Great guy. In 1891, he met and married Mary Pennington, who just happened to be the daughter of former Attorney General and Congressman John Pennington.
Oh,
and that is Congressman of Delaware.
Nice.
They soon after moved to San Francisco, where they made many friends and were blessed with a little baby girl.
Oh.
They lived in San Francisco near the Golden Gate Park, and old Johnny P. enjoyed his alone time strolling or riding his bike through the park. So he was riding or walking through the park, and this is how it's playing out in my head. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
So a squirrel on a bench caught his eye. Next to that squirrel was another shitbag named Cordelia Botkin. John really wanted to flirt with that squirrel, but it could sense the douchery, so it ran off. So then John went the next best thing being Cordelia instead of the squirrel.
Yeah, I like that.
So, I mean, you already know there's nothing in there about a squirrel in any of my sources, but that's how it happened. That's how it happened, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that's how it happened, and she stands on it.
Yeah, squirrels. So, Cordelia and John flirted. They exchanged information and decided, as shitbags do, to start up an affair.
Ew.
I know. John wasn't shy about his shenanigans, so Mary quickly found out that he was running around. She immediately said, "Not today." And as a strong, independent woman does, she went back to Dover, Delaware with her daughter.
So she left him.
She left him. She said, "Deuces, I'm
That's very impressive for a woman of the 1800s.
out." I agree.
That's, wow.
Yeah, she was ahead of her time.
Good on her.
I know. Cordelia was also married, and her husband's name was, I'm going to
Drum roll.
give you a drum roll. Ready for this?
Yep.
Welcome. His name was Welcome.
His name was Welcome.
Welcome A. Botkin, or Boaton, but I'm going to say Botkin for the rest of the story.
There's so much you can do with that name.
You're welcome.
What can I say except you're welcome?
For this story that probably has no listeners.
Your mom listens.
Thanks, Mom. So yeah, Welcome A. Botkin is his name.
That's a name.
Yeah. It is written that Mr. Welcome Botkin was well aware of Cordelia's affair after John moved in with them. Yeah, this story just keeps going.
So, okay, so this woman is living with her affair partner and husband.
They're a throuple at this point, I think.
Okay, this is pretty progressive for the 1800s.
It seems it, right?
Yeah,
it's very odd. This whole story,
very odd.
I'm telling you. So Welcome seemed fine with it. I think in his crazy ass mind too, he was like, "Sir, thank you. You're doing me a favor. Have her. Enjoy."
I'm sure. And he was like, "You're welcome."
My name is Welcome, but you are welcome to have this crazy ass bitch. Enjoy. So Team Shitbags, John and Cordelia, kept their affair going for quite a while. And during this time, John had continued contact with Mary by sending her love letters, and Mary would often reply to them. So, like, she moved away, but she was still...
She's still entertaining it.
She was, yeah. She was, what do they call it? Breadcrumbing him, maybe?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She's like, no, but maybe.
Well, this sounds like it's going to go really well.
Super well. He also continued to talk fondly of Mary, even in front of Cordelia.
Again, sounds like it's going very well.
Very well. He would often tell Cordelia about Mary and her favorite things, one of which was candy. The joke is on John, though, because Cordelia was also writing to Mary. Yeah. She would send her letters full of descriptive actions that John had been taking with other women, even causing one of these other women to leave her husband.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on here. A
lot to unpack.
A lot. And it only gets, there's more. So John eventually had enough of Cordelia and probably her husband, Welcome. John struggled keeping a job and apparently lost his job at some point with the Associated Press for embezzling money.
Wow.
Yeah.
So on top of everything else, he is a thief as well.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
For some reason, though, luck was on his side. And in 1898, he was rehired by the Associated Press to cover the Spanish-American War.
They rehired to send his ass over there.
Yeah. They were like, we hate you. Have this job.
Wow.
Yep. So he was tasked with traveling to Puerto Rico for his coverage. Puerto Rico, just in case. Cordelia traveled with John until she was no longer allowed, and it is reported that she cried the entire time because her love was leaving her. Before John was able to drop the stage 5 clinger in March of 1898, he grew a pair and told her he would not be returning to San Francisco to continue to live with her and her husband. He instead would be returning to good old Delaware to be with his wife and daughter upon the completion of his time away.
Okay.
So fast forward a few months to August 1898. Mary was minding her own business when a package was delivered to her father's home, again in Dover, Delaware. It was addressed to Mrs. John P. Dunning. The return address showed San Francisco, so Mary was elated to have received something from one of her many friends there.
Oh, okay.
So when she opened the package, she discovered a handkerchief, some fancy chocolates, and a handwritten note, which read, quote, "With love to yourself and baby, dash Mrs. C." The writing looked familiar, and since Mary assumed that the package was sent from one of her many San Francisco friends, she did not suspect it as a potential threat.
Right. And I mean, why would you? It's the 1800s. So.
Right. And then former Congressman John Pennington also found the handwriting similar to letters that Mary had received describing affairs that douchebag Magoo was having in San Francisco. So I think he also figured, oh, it's one of her friends, who was also warning her about her husband's affairs.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think they were like, oh, it's a friend from
Right.
San Francisco, Mrs. C.
Mrs. Cunt.
Yeah, Cuntinopolis. So Mary was a kind and generous soul, so she offered to share the chocolates with her sister, Ida Dean,
Oh, no.
while having a few herself.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun. Within a few hours, Mary and Ida both fell terribly ill.
Oh.
They remained violently ill and in agony for a few days until both succumbed to the poison.
Oh, no.
I know. Ida ended up passing first and then soon followed by Mary. After an investigation, it was found that those chocolates were laced with arsenic.
Oh, that's a horrible death, too.
I know.
That is a horrifying death. Like, excruciatingly painful and gross.
I know. I feel so bad for
I
him.
would not wish that on my worst enemy.
No.
That's awful.
Mm-mm. So, dipshit Dunning received the news of his wife's passing and was frantic. He immediately boarded a ship to return home. And upon his return, he was shocked to see news reporters and a crowd. So as a reporter himself, he did not want to let anyone down and answered all the questions that he was asked. When asked, "Who poisoned your wife?" he came clean about 3 affairs that he had had in San Francisco.
What?
And admitted, yeah. To reporters.
To random reporters.
Yeah, not even to Mary's dad, oh yeah, I had 3 affairs. It was pretty messed up. Reporters.
As a reporter, don't you think you'd want to remain silent, so you wouldn't drum up any suspicion or, I mean...
Sounds like he had the common sense of a snow pea, if you will.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Fair enough. But yeah, he told the reporter that he had 3 affairs in San Francisco, and he did admit that there was one of these 3 women who he suspected could possibly do something like this.
Wow.
And guess who it was?
Cordelia
Botkin.
I can't get over the fact that a reporter was just like, oh, here you go. Here's all this information. Do with it what you will. Hee hee.
Tee-hee. Please publish this across a worldwide newspaper.
Yeah, why wouldn't you talk to, I don't know, maybe the fucking police?
Right? Man, oh man. So when John got to the Pennington home, he looked at the letter that came in the package and realized it was eerily similar to the writing of none other than Mrs. Cordelia Buttface Botkins.
So she didn't even try to mask her handwriting or anything.
I don't think so. I think she was just in one of those moments, you know, where you try to murder someone, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
A murder moment.
Yeah, murder.
She was having a murder moment.
A little MM. His worst nightmare was coming true. He had a flashback of when he told Cordelia about Mary's fondness of candy. He also reminisced about the time he had told Cordelia about Mary's friends and their names. Boom. One of which was Mrs. Corbally.
The Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Wow.
He immediately went to the Delaware police, who luckily took the allegation seriously and contacted their partners in San Francisco to apprehend Mrs. C.
Wow. So they really took this seriously.
They
I mean,
did.
probably because it's a senator's daughter.
When the police arrived at Cordelia's home, they found her there with her husband, welcome, and apparently she was on her third outfit change of the day.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. I think she knew like her jig was up and she just wanted to look good for the reporters, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my God. That like reminds me of Jodi Arias, like when she was arrested and she was like, "Officer, can I please get my makeup bag so I can do my makeup for my mugshot?"
Mm-hmm.
These bitches.
I know. Cordelia was made aware of her arrest and was allowed to pack a trunk for her prison stay.
See, I have questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, the trunk was heavy and it took 2 people to carry it.
Since when are you allowed to bring a fucking trunk of clothing and toiletries and God knows what else with you to fucking prison?
1898.
Jesus.
Could you imagine being arrested for a murder and being like, "Oh, hold up, let me go pack some stuff"?
No.
Today, they would taser your ass and throw you in the back of the car.
Yeah, they'd be like, no.
No.
Get in the fucking car.
You'll be wearing orange. And I would say, "Thanks, that's my color."
Yeah, orange is the new black.
Boop, boop. So, Cordelia was quoted saying, "The chagrin is past. The horror is over. I have suffered all the humiliation. I am ready."
Oh, wow, I feel really bad for her.
That was her quote.
She was so humiliated.
So humiliated.
Poor thing.
God bless her with her throuple lifestyle. God bless her again. On September 6th, 1898, under the eyes of a nation, because this story had truly taken the nation by storm,
Yeah.
the trial of the century would take place. It was agreed that the trial would be held in California, which forced the family and anyone named a witness to travel from Delaware.
Oh, that sucks.
The public had already deemed Cordelia guilty, but the evidence was very light. Until, dun dun dun, the matching string, paper, and the seal of the candy box, all linked to Cordelia, was presented.
So she didn't even get rid of any evidence?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So the string was cut to open the box so the chocolates could be seasoned with the arsenic. And then I guess she just tied it. She cut it enough so she could retie it to make it look like it was still brand new. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the jury deliberated for 4 hours, super long time, JK, on December 30th, and upon returning, delivered a guilty verdict.
Good.
And Cordelia was then sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
John passed away in 1908. He was apparently still drunk and died penisless. Sorry.
It'd be awesome if he also was penisless, but
Right?
We can't ask for too much.
I mean, he
guess.
was a little horse, so you never know back in the day. Like, it could have fallen off at that point.
Yeah, like syphilis was huge back then, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. And Cordelia became depressed and stopped eating after she heard this. She eventually passed away in prison on March 7th of 1910. So she really didn't last that long.
No, not at all.
Nope. So that is the story of one of the first murders by mail and the terrible ending for everyone.
That's super interesting. I've never heard of that. Like living in Delaware my entire life, I've never heard that story before.
Yeah. There's
That's
a
really
woman who does tours.
Really?
I think she does tours, or she tells the story and then like takes you to the grave. The graves are there.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm assuming it's in Dover.
It's in Dover. Yeah, it's in Dover, Delaware.
Oh, cool. We should do a little field trip there one day.
I'm in.
Because that's super interesting.
I live down that way. I can do it anytime.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of an important story to the history of Delaware that pretty much no one has heard about.
And it was a congressman's daughter.
Yeah, that's
Two
huge.
daughters.
Yeah.
Ida and Mary.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know.
That was a good story. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
liked
tried.
that.
I tried hard. I'm not as good as telling my stories as you are, but
No,
it
stop.
was a story. I'll just leave it at that.
No, it was really good. I
Thanks.
enjoyed it.
I do feel like I need to ask, what lesson did we learn today?
What lesson did we learn? Maybe don't move your affair partner into your home with your actual husband and then poison your affair partner's wife and
Use the same handwriting?
Yeah, and also get rid of evidence if you're going to do stupid shit like that, but also don't get rid of evidence because, like, I want you to go to jail if you do shit like that.
Same.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
My lesson is if R. Kelly tries to hand you a phone number, don't take it.
Well, luckily he's behind bars. I think for the rest of his life.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then Diddy will soon follow. They're just all following like a house of cards.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. We'll have to do a deep dive on that. We'll have to do a podcast on like the dark side of the music industry because there's a lot of shit that.
Yeah. We should do it soon because it's all hitting the fan.
Definitely. Yep. I'll start working on that.
I'm going to start working on something. I just don't know what it's going to be.
It'll come to you.
It might not, but I'll do my best.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, whatever. I also learned that I'm not going to eat chocolates that come to me in the mail.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably still eat them. Let's be real.
If you know who they come from,
no, I'm still probably going to eat them. I still open the package I was sus of.
Yeah, like if somebody sends you an edible arrangement, like if your husband or something sends you I fucking love edible arrangements.
Me too.
Like
They're delicious.
Fruits. Oh my God. So good. Like I would take that over flowers any day.
Same. I would also take Taco Bell over flowers any day.
Yeah.
You know what else? Chili's.
Oh God, here we go with the Chili's. Are we going to get a sponsorship ever, do you think?
No. No, I don't, but a girl can dream.
Oh, now I want chippies and salsy.
Same. Moe's. That's close.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
That Chili's
It's not Chili's.
That's Chili's dough.
It'll do.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the Dover Chocolate Murders.
Yes, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the story, and if you didn't, sorry.
If you didn't, then fuck you.
Yeah, but y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe and don't take chocolate that is in the mail, I guess. I don't know. Don't name your kids welcome.
Yeah. And we will see you next Tuesday, but don't be one.
Bye.
Bye.